My name is Robert M. Wood, and I go by Dr. Bob these days. I have a degree in aeronautical engineering from the University of Colorado, and then I subsequently got a PhD in physics from Cornell. And I went right into McDonnell Douglas as a young engineer and stayed with McDonnell Douglas for 43 years, graduating basically through the various management steps and wound up in charge of various aspects of our research and development programs. Since I concluded that the UFOs were real, one day when I was driving to work, I said, well, wow, there's no other solution. They're clearly real, they're clearly extraterrestrial, and they work somehow. And I think we ought to figure out how they work, because I wouldn't want to be the last aerospace company to discover gravity control. And Jim McDonald became aware of the fact that there was a symposium about to happen in Boston that Philip Morrison and Carl Sagan were organizing on UFOs. So he apparently planted the seed in Sagan's ear and said, you know, there's a group at McDonnell Douglas who's studying UFOs. You might want to give them a call and see if they want to participate. Well, I had just finished reading Carl Sagan's wonderful book, Intelligent Life in the Universe, written in about 1966, and had a tremendous respect for the ideas that I had seen there, which included the serious consideration for extraterrestrial life. And so Carl called one day and introduced himself, and I was honored, of course, because, you know, he was clearly more outranking than I was in terms of his profession at that time. And he said, I understand that you might be doing some work, and what would you want to talk about if we were asked to give a paper? And I said, well, Carl, one thing I wouldn't want to do is what everybody else is probably going to do, namely try to prove that they're real. I said it's very clear to anybody who studies it at all that they're extraterrestrial. And the most important thing is to figure out how they work. So I would give a paper discussing the different avenues that one could explore in order to figure out how they work. And there was long silence on the phone, and he never invited me to give the paper. At that time, I began to ask myself, is there some plan to control this process? That was just a sort of a subconscious thought that I had in my mind, and I didn't really do much more with it then.
There was a demon that lived in the air. They said whoever challenged him would die. Their controls would freeze up. Their planes would buffet wildly, and they would disintegrate.
You boys come a long way. What you looking for?
Wisdom?
You come to the wrong place.
Maybe.
Yeah, the world ain't what it seems, is it, Gunny?
No, sir.
You keep that in mind. The moment you think you got it figured, you're wrong.
There in the temple, he found people selling cattle, sheep, and pigeons, and also the money changers sitting at their tables. So he made a whip from cords and drove all the animals out of the temple, both the sheep and the cattle. He overturned the tables of the money changers and scattered their coins. And he ordered those who sold pigeons,
take them out of here! Stop making my father's house a marketplace!
My father's mansion has many rooms, with room for all of his children, as long as we do share his love, and see that all are free, and see that all are free to grow, and see that all are free to know, and free to open or to close the door of their own room.